Hi. Hola.
Hi, hier ist Mr. Döse.
This is Michael Bradley.
Hey, I'm Memphis.
Hey.
Hola. Hello.
I'm here with soccer.com.
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 And I'm talking with my friends soccer.com.
See you soon.
Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Adidas A16 Plus Pure Control in the very bright solar yellow Speed of Light pack colorway. Now included with the shoes inside the box is a couple of extras. The first thing you get is an extra set of insoles to go along with the lightweight ones already in the shoes. These are a little bit thicker, completely solid, and have a synthetic suede liner. So it's just an extra set of insoles basically. Nice that they do include that. They also include a shoe horn, being that this is the laceless model. That makes it a little bit easier to put the shoes on. You don't necessarily have to use it, but like I said, it does make things a little bit easier. And of course, they include a string bag, which as you can see is a black mesh material, black strings, and you have the Adidas and Ace logo there on the front. Other than all those extras, of course, you do get the shoes themselves, which I have right here. And like I said, a very bright solar yellow color. We're going to be taking a closer look at the colorway itself and all the little details in today's video. We're going to talk tech specs, performance features, as well as take a look at how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, there'll be a little pop-up on screen that'll take you to the review page on my website, where you'll find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $300 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, pop up on screen, link in the description, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now this being part of the Speed of Light pack from Adidas, essentially all they've done is they took the Mercury pack accent color from basically the previous colorway, and they made that accent color the color of the entire shoe. So instead of just this little chunk right here being solar yellow, the entire upper is solar yellow, and it's very, very bright. Now given that it is prime knit and you do have a clear kind of polyurethane coat on top, you do see a combination of that solar yellow color, which is very similar to Nike's Volt Yellow, just kind of for comparison's sake. It's neon yellow, and then you have a combination of some kind of more standard, almost mustard yellow in there as well. You see it as well on the prime cut collar. But those two colors combined for the majority of the upper, and honestly it looks quite good if you like bright neon yellow. The little pull tab on the front is black with a silver Ace logo. The pull tab on the back is solar yellow. You have the non-stop grip branding there on the medial side in silver as well. Black Adidas stripes on the lateral side, a black Adidas logo on the very back heel tab. And then the sole plate is made from basically a chrome yellow color, if that makes any sense. It's hard to say that this is neon yellow just because it is kind of like a mirrored chrome finish, but it looks very, very cool. Note as well, although I already pulled the sticker off, that there is a warning sticker letting you know that the finish on the bottom of the sole plate will wear off over time, but obviously won't impact the performance. Based on my experience, it doesn't wear all that quickly, but that's something that's going to vary for everybody depending on the playing conditions and fields that you're going to be using these on. And then the stud tips are basically translucent, but with a darker tint to them, which actually looks really, really cool. So overall, it's a super bright colorway of the Ace 16 Plus Pure Control, the laceless model. Let me know what you guys think of these down below in the comment section. Do you like how they look? Why or why not? I can't say I'm crazy about the super bright colorway, but I don't think they look bad either. Again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Pure Control is a very, very difficult shoe to describe the feel of. It's one of those shoes that when you put them on, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about, but until then, it's really, really difficult to understand the way that they fit and feel. Now, I'm gonna go over some basic details in today's video, but if you guys want as much info as possible, I'll leave a little pop-up on screen to my playtest video where I talk about my general experience with this shoe in regards to performance, fit, and feel, and just some aspects of the shoe that I think are really good and other aspects that I don't think are the greatest. So again, if you want all those details, check out that little pop-up, go check out my playtest video, and I cover just about everything you need to know. Now, with the Pure Control, obviously it does feature a prime knit upper. That's what you see on the outside, not necessarily what you feel on the inside, because the entire inside of the shoe is lined with a microfiber synthetic material that does add quite a bit of firmness and just general structure to the upper, because it does doesn't actually have any shoelaces. So if you were buying this shoe with the expectation that it's going to feel like a Superfly or an Obra from Nike, being that those have knitted uppers as well, this just doesn't feel like that. If you want more of a true knitted sensation in terms of touch on the ball and general comfort, I would definitely recommend the A16.1 Prime Knit over the PURECONTROL, because like I said, this is a firmer upper that has some thickness to it, but like I said, doesn't necessarily offer that sock-like softness that the Prime Knit upper would suggest. As far as other structure elements that you're going to find to the upper, aside from the microfiber liner, you have the 3 Adidas stripes here on the lateral side that aren't just there for branding. They're kind of like a firmer, rubbery plastic material that you immediately notice when you put them on. There's a lot of firmness here to the lateral side of the midfoot, which can be uncomfortable depending on how these fit you. The surface of the upper is finished off with the non-stop grip dots, which you can see the non-stop grip branding right there on the medial side. For the most part, it's completely smooth, but you do have those little dots that are really difficult to see on this particular colorway. They basically act as a wet control element, kind of like Nike's ACC. It's Adidas's answer to that. But just like ACC, it's one of those features that, in all honesty, you don't really notice when you're playing. As far as the laceless aspect of the shoe is concerned, there obviously aren't any laces. So instead you have this elasticated section that runs through the middle of the shoe, pushed ever so slightly to the medial side. So you have a top layer that is fully elasticated, and then underneath that you have what they call their TechFit knitted internal support, which is also made from a prime knit material, also elasticated, and it's essentially a little section that covers the top of your foot and wraps down the side. So you have 2 separate layers of this knitted material across the top of your foot and 2 layers on either side of your foot, and this is what's supposed to allow your foot to be locked in place. And for me, the 2 major downfalls of this shoe is, 1, the lack of adjustability because of this laceless system. You put them on, slide them on your feet. Once they're on, that's how they fit. You can't make them tighter, you can't make them looser. There's no adjustability. Again, that's just the nature of a laceless system. And the second flaw is the lack of lockdown, again, because of the laceless system. It's a cool concept, but definitely not perfect in its kind of first form, if you will. We'll see if they make improvements with future PURECONTROL models or if they ditch the laceless system altogether. But again, based on my experience with this shoe, I wasn't overly impressed with what it has on offer. I think you do have better options, especially at the $300 price range, which essentially buys you just about anything out there. Now, like I said, the lack of lockdown because of this elasticated system means that this is all stretchy, and it has to be stretchy so you can get your foot in and get your foot out of the shoe. What it doesn't provide is any kind of security, not so much in terms of lateral structure, because they have added quite a bit of stiffness to the upper to where lateral structure and lateral responsiveness isn't really an issue, but there's nothing forcing your foot into the heel or down into the base of the sole. So your foot has a tendency to kind of slide up and down, especially when you're planting to shoot the ball, and your heel never feels like it's truly locked in place. There's a constant pressure because the padding is essentially holding your heel down into the bottom of the shoe. So again, the way they'll fit you personally is going to be different than perhaps me. Everyone has their own different experience with this shoe, but for me personally, like I said, I wasn't overly impressed with the general feel and comfort. And again, despite it looking like kind of a true knitted upper, it really doesn't have the feel of a knitted upper at all. Moving on to the rear area of the shoe, you do have somewhat of a mid-cut design. It's what they call their prime cut collar, where essentially, again, just like all of the kind of interesting cuts Adidas is putting out at the moment, it's basically a standard low-cut shoe, but there's just a little extension piece here. No structure to it. It's just there to look kind of cool and look a little bit different, but offers no performance benefit whatsoever. You have the little pull tabs at the front and back just to help you get the shoes on and off. They do include the shoe horn as well, which you can choose to use or not use. You'll probably use it the first couple of times and then get sick of it or lose it or perhaps even break it. But again, you don't necessarily need the shoe horn to put them on. It just makes things a little bit easier or perhaps a little bit more comfortable, I guess is a better way of putting it. Inside, you do have a synthetic suede liner with a decent amount of padding, and the padding has to be there, again, in order to kind of pinch your heel and keep it locked in place as good as it possibly can be, because again, there is no actual lacing system to keep your foot locked into the base of the sole. The insole is fully removable. This is the included lightweight ones. Again, they include the extra set of comfort ones as well if you want something more significant. But these feature a mesh liner on top, perforations throughout the first 2/3 of the insole, and then it's just a single layer of this black foam. Nothing too fancy, but it does get the job done. And then moving on to the sole plate and stud pattern, you do have a sprint frame construction with a one-piece heel counter. And it is an FGAG layout, so the sprint frame itself does make for a fairly lightweight kind of overall design. It's just the lightest way of doing things. It's a thin plastic, but still has some decent stiffness to it. And as far as the stud pattern is concerned, this is pretty much the same layout we've been seeing from Adidas for several years now. All conical studs, pretty straightforward. As far as it being a true FGAG stud pattern, a stud pattern you can wear on both firm natural grass as well as artificial grass, it definitely is trending more towards a firm ground stud pattern as opposed to a true AG one, but I have used them on artificial grass. It does work okay. It doesn't feel unsafe or anything like that. But like I said, if you're buying these, just keep in mind that it is definitely more of a true FG stud pattern as opposed to an AG stud pattern. Nonetheless, it works well on both surfaces, and if you do play on both natural and artificial grass playing surfaces and you only want to buy one pair of shoes, just know that this, as well as all of the current Adidas models, are technically FGAG, so that's definitely a plus in terms of what Adidas is doing right now, even though, again, I would make the argument that none of them are true AG stud patterns. When it comes to weight, the PURECONTROL is relatively light, but not exceptionally light, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna weigh this pair for you today in real time using the scale so we can see exactly how much they weigh. Keep in mind that this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're gonna throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.2 ounces, the equivalent of 232 grams. So pretty much right at the 8-ounce mark, which, like I said, isn't heavy, it's not overly light. It's kind of somewhere in the middle ground as far as modern high-end soccer shoes go. If you're looking for that super lightweight feel, you're probably not interested in the PURECONTROL anyways. But again, if you like what the PURECONTROL has on offer and that it is a laceless boot, the only one on the market at the moment, I don't think you'll be too bothered by the weight aspect of the shoe. All right, so here is a look at the A16 Plus PURECONTROLs on feet. And this is one of those shoes that, again, it's very difficult to describe how they fit, and it's very difficult to recommend these to a specific type of foot or a specific shape just because of the laceless system. When you put them on based on the shape of your foot, it's gonna fit everybody a little bit differently, and you may or may not like the feel. So really, my best advice is if you try these on at a store, or perhaps you can order them online, try them on, see how they feel. If you like how they feel, maybe give them a go. If they don't fit you quite right, return them, don't buy them, exchange them, do whatever you gotta do, because that feel is not gonna change. Because of the laceless system, you don't have adjustability. When you put them on, that's how they're gonna feel. No changing it at all. Break-in time is not going to change the shape. Break-in time is not going to change really the comfort level. It kind of is just what it is when you put them on, if that makes any sense. So that's my best advice with these. Width-wise, it's a snug fitting shoe. It's probably tightest through the midfoot, especially on the lateral side where those Adidas stripes are positioned, just because there's a lot of extra firmness from the rubberized plastic that they're made out of. But the overall shoe in general is pretty firm on the inside, despite being, again, a knitted material in terms of what you can see. But there is that firmer microfiber liner on the inside. The heel, there's a lot of pressure. Your heel's not necessarily slipping, but it wants to come out from under from the bottom of the shoe, just because there is nothing pushing your heel down into the base of the sole plate. So again, there is a lot of pressure on your heel. Again, depending on how they fit you personally, your feel and your experience may be a little bit different, but for me personally, I was just never able to achieve a super comfortable fit in this particular shoe. Size-wise, they run true to size. I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair, I would strongly recommend going true to size for the best possible fit. But again, in terms of just how they fit in general, whether it's wide foot, narrow foot, regular width foot, whatever shape your foot may be, try them on, and if you don't like how they feel, return them, exchange them. If they fit you properly and you feel like they fit pretty well, they're comfortable for you, maybe give them a go. But again, it's one of those shoes that you have to try on to really understand, to see whether or not they fit you. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Speed of Light Pack Adidas A16 Plus PURECONTROL. If you guys are interested in more info on this shoe, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That is the very first link down below in the description of this video. And on that page, you will find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $300 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below. below. Go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding this shoe, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, thanks for watching.